It's about that time.
City News, City News. What's happening in your city? City News, City News. City News, City News. You got love for your city? City News, City News. City News, City News. City News. City News, City News. City News. City News, City News, City News. City News, City News, City News, City News, City News. City News, City News, City News, City News, City News, City News, City News.
And we are here, ladies and gentlemen, bringing you the best in quality community broadcasting right here from your local Altice Channel 5, right here in the fine city of Litchfield, Connecticut. Well, Litchfield, Torrington.
Yeah,
It's
well,
kind of like on the
we're
line.
kind of on the line there.
We're repping both towns.
We certainly
Yeah,
are.
yeah. Our reach is out there. Let's just say that. So I thank you for tuning in to another episode of CT Views. My name is Jacque, your host for this journey throughout the Northwest Hills of Connecticut. Here with my lovely and talented co-host, the one and only Miss Coryse Villarouel.
Yes, Coryse Coco.
Oh, she's Coco for the month of Black History.
Oh no, more than just the Black History Month.
But she knows I like Coco too, so. But yeah, we're as always happy to come to you each and every Tuesday night right here at 6 p.m. And for all those that are checking out Facebook, YouTube, and we'll be going on Twitch platform here real soon. So you guys can check us out in your leisure time if you can't make it with us here on your local access channel, Altice 5.
That's right, that's right. And for the month of February, we are going to be delving into just some Black history and celebrating all the movers and shakers in this fine state of Connecticut. We have educators, visual artists to creative minds, and we just kind of want to highlight some of these people and talk about them and their achievements and the difference that they're making.
You know, that's, very appropriate. But, it's always been my feeling that Black history is American history.
It certainly is.
You know?
It certainly is.
I think we need to start looking at the accomplishments of African Americans
throughout the year, not just 1 month.
You know what I'm saying? It's like there's been so many contributions to make this country what it is, and those accomplishments shouldn't be marred by any absurdities. People sacrifice, commit, put their livelihoods on the line to make things better for the collective. Mm-hmm. And I think when we have the opportunity to highlight and showcase that, then definitely we want to do that.
For sure.
But as well, we also want to highlight and recognize all the stockholders and players in the Northwest Corner. And that's why we'll be talking here momentarily with my good friend, Deirdre DeCara, the Executive Director of FISH, Friends in Service to Humanity. So thank you for joining us this evening.
Really thrilled to be with you.
Glad to have you. So before we get started, we want to take this opportunity to show some gratitude and recognize our sponsors for their support, because without them, we would not be able to bring you the quality community broadcasting that we're able to do each and every week. So without further ado, I want to give a big, huge shout out to our big city sponsors. Toth Insurance Agency, located at 1151 East Main Street, Torrington, Connecticut. Better protection, better value. He can be reached at 860-496-7771 or at tothins@optonline.net. Also, Mel Brickman and Health Markets, located at 16 McDermott Avenue, Suite Number 1 in Torrington, Connecticut.
Better
Better
call
call
Mel.
Mel. He can be reached at 860-307-1128 or at healthmarkets.com/local-health-ins. Also, the Northwest Connecticut Area Chamber of Commerce, located at 59 Field Street, Suite 120. The Chamber is
It's
the
the place
place
to
to
be.
be. They can be reached at 860-482-6586. And last but certainly not least, Dr. Michael Curry, located at 30 Peck Road, Suite 2105 in Torrington, Connecticut. Pediatric care for over 30 years. He can be reached at 860-482-8177 or at torringtonpediatrics.com.
30 years or 50 years? I think that's 50.
It is 50 years. Did I say 30?
I thought 30. No.
Yeah,
Much
it's 50.
longer.
It's
50
50.
years.
Yeah.
50 years. Yeah.
Well,
Fabulous.
thank you for whitewashing my mistake there. But nonetheless, the show must go on, as they say. And as we proceed, we're glad to introduce to you Deirdre DeCara from Fish. And Deirdre, you
Yes,
know,
welcome.
Thank you.
our friendship has spanned almost 2 decades now.
That's correct.
And
a long time.
Yeah,
Jacque.
and the work that you have done for Fish is so commendable. And I remember when you first got hired there, and Fish was going through some very tumultuous times,
Yes.
and you just kind of like kicked the door down and said, "I'm here, and I'm ready to make it happen." And your just your bubbly personality and your community sentiments has worked to bring Fish to a very notable place in our community. So
Thank you.
we tip our hat to you for all your work.
Well, I always say to my board of directors, put a Girl Scout in charge of a homeless shelter. It becomes this whole new place.
Just give him some Girl Scout cookies, everybody be fine. Give him my double mints on the double. So there's so many things we could talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And just to digress a little bit, the buzz was in the air about this time a year ago. And it's one of those things that really kind of highlights a community, builds community morale, and having this situation take place in Torrington, especially, was just a boost in the arm for the city. Talk to our audience a little bit about that initiative and how you got involved and how everything turned out.
Are we talking about divine renovation?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I'm like the buzz. He just said the buzz, but nothing. I'm like, what's the buzz? What's happening? Tell me the buzz. What's that?
What's that buzz? Tell me what it's talking about. What's that?
What's that?
Jesus
What's
Christ
happening?
Superstar.
Right?
Yeah, Jesus Christ Superstar.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the
Yeah,
buzz?
yeah.
Well,
Well,
tell me what's happening.
I thought Deirdre would tell us what happened.
I will tell you.
Please tell us, because he had me at the edge of my seat.
Well, we were so blessed. In February of 2023, we were approached by the producers of a new show called Divine Renovation. And it is Eric Estrada's the host, and he comes into an area, and we're part of season 2, New England. And they were looking for what will their storylines be. And so they researched. So anyway, they came and took my grand tour of Fish, Friends in Service to Humanity. And, they said, well, we'll let you know in 3 weeks kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole tour, though, of the food pantry and the shelter and meeting my wonderful team, it was, oh, Eric's going to love you. Eric's going to love Fish. And so we knew immediately within that week that we were the chosen as one of the storylines. So May of that year, they moved in for a week, and we had like a camera crew of 15 or 20 people. The producers, Eric Estrada, many may remember him from Chips. And I just saw him last night on a television ad that he's doing. for
Really?
What was
a
he? Was he?
car business.
Was he talking about fish and chips, or was he talking about? You know?
I know. That was the joke the whole week. I
A
have to
car
say.
business, not even motorcycle cars.
No, right. So anyway, but it was fun. I said, "Oh, there's Eric. You know how wonderful." So
And he has not aged. He looks the
no,
same.
he looks great. He
Yeah.
looks great. So we had a wonderful week of filming, and Divine Renovation comes into a community, and they look for community partners to make magic happen, is how I would describe it. So we were asked to create a wish list of things we might need at the food pantry and at the shelter. And they took the list, and O&G adopted us. So O&G Industries, Ray O'Neilly was there every day, several times to make sure everything was going well. So we had a few projects that we had done, a new kitchen floor, building a new deck to step out on at the patio area
Yep.
of the shelter, and my dream of a flagpole, because a part of our shelter is a veterans program, and we threw quite a party, didn't we? So they said, "Oh, that was the last day of the filming. Oh, Deirdre, just serve hot dogs or something." Well, we invited about 75
Yep.
people, and those that were participating are veterans from soldiers, sailors, and Marines in town. Did a beautiful flag ceremony, very official. Chief Baldwin, the mayor, Carbone. I mean, it was quite the party. My Rotarian buddies were there.
Yep.
Jacque was definitely there. My board of directors came. Folks from my shelter. And we threw this, what I call one of our fabulous a cookout, you know.
It was almost like a block party, though,
It was like a block party.
because
Yeah,
from
it was big.
yeah,
So anyway, that was great fun. And then we had the ceremony of the flags, which Representative Jay Case had gotten me
Yep.
not only an American flag, but a Connecticut flag. So that got put up, and that's the closing of our show. So the show's half an hour, and folks can watch it and enjoy it and watch it again. And some of my folks in the shelter were interviewed as a part of it. And so one wonderful lady said, "I call fish home." So the name of our episode is "I Call It Home."
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah, and it was really great, and the whole week was really
was.
wonderful. And so you can watch it on Amazon Prime, on Tubi, on Roku, on Hulu, I think. Many different streaming channels right now. But make sure you go to the New England season 2. So we had great fun with that filming. And then there's another show that everyone in Connecticut should watch. And I was speaking at the legislature last February, I think it was. And a man raced up to me after, and we're worried about funding for overflow cold weather emergency
Right,
shelters. So I go into Hartford to work on that with the Connecticut Coalition to End Homelessness. So this man ran up to me. He said, "I'm a producer at CPTV, and we're doing a documentary. And the documentary is, it touches on homelessness, but it's all about affordable or low-income housing. It's about the major theme is planning and zoning, and how Connecticut back in the early 1900s, many places in America based it on race. Shame on all of us. Connecticut got smart, and they based it on wealth or no wealth, and how they would plot out huge parcels of land in the middle of town for the big old houses and mansions. And then all the poor, those in poverty, would be on the outskirts of town. And that's, when you look at every urban area, that's what happened. So anyway, it's a 1-hour show that everyone should watch because it's just so fascinating. But they said, we don't have a rural shelter. We only focused on urban areas. So they came, and you'll meet Tammy and her daughter, Zayla. We have about 4 minutes at Fish on this show. So
What's the name of the show?
I'm going to get the exact name because it's quite a long name.
Because now I'm intrigued.
Yeah. So the documentary is called Fighting for Home, how housing policy keeps Connecticut segregated. And you can go on their website and look up connecticutpublic.org and watch programming, and then you'll find it.
Mhm.
So it's really well done.
Mhm.
I think it's like Emmy material. And I'll tell you, Divine Renovation is winning awards,
Yeah.
and they're using
Yeah.
our episodes
Yeah.
for a lot of
Lovely.
it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's fun.
Fighting for Home, that's definitely an episode I'd love to watch. I I'm very intrigued and interested in watching a lot more documentary based programming.
Right.
And so this is
Well, it got shown all summer on public television, Connecticut Public, but now you can pick it up on their website.
okay.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that that is just another demonstration of your outreach and how you've been able to utilize your skills and your experience and apply it to this particular mission, and making sure that, especially through these very, very tough times, that we're taking care of those in our community that are the most in need.
And we're really seeing,
Yeah,
we're growing by leaps and bounds in
Yeah.
the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know?
Unfortunately, the housing market has gone through the roof, and
Right.
there is housing shortage as well, and so you are finding a lot more people that are either homeless or I just read that very sad and heartbreaking story in Detroit with the mom and the 5 kids in the car, and 2 died from
Exposure.
the cold. And
oh Lord,
that just
Yeah.
happened
That's
last
horrible.
I believe it was last night that happened.
Ooh.
So there's a lot of heartbreaking stories, and if she had the means, or just I guess the ability, or didn't feel ashamed to reach out,
Exactly.
and that
And
seems to
that's
be
what
a
we
problem
want
as
people-
well.
I
Yeah.
always say it takes such courage to come forward and ask for help.
Yeah.
But
And ask for help.
please do it, because
Do not feel
that's why
ashamed. Yeah.
agencies like ours exist.
Exist.
It's there to help. So right now, as far as the numbers in our shelter, we have a 35-bed shelter. 5 of those beds are dedicated to veterans. And we last year served 79 people throughout the year. The number one goal is to get you into permanent supportive housing is the best goal. So there's a shortage in housing. There's a shortage in affordable housing. So of the 79, we had 50 individuals. There were 17 veterans that went through our program, and then we had 16 children during the year. And right now we have 8 kids. We have 3 families with us and 8 children, ranging from 10 months old right through about 15. And really lovely children. We're seeing more homeless families. There are like 5,000 plus homeless right now in Connecticut. 44% of those are children and families. And the other big trend right now, and it's at Fish, senior citizens. Half of the population at the shelter right now, of the 35 beds, are seniors. We have 3 people using walkers. We have people using canes. In the last couple of years, we've had 2 people that have had dementia. Really big issues facing senior citizens. And these are our neighbors that lived in a 2 and a 3 family house next door, let's say. And the rents have gone up.
Yeah.
And the rents have gone up so much that their Social Security cannot make it.
cover it. Yeah.
So it's really a crisis and heartbreaking. And we brought in someone a week ago that I knew and know her family. And she never imagined in her 60s that she would be homeless.
Yeah.
So imagine if we found that we were in that position. It can happen. It can happen. So that's what we're seeing. But Shelter Life, and Jacque visits, so he knows. We try to make it, I think it can be as pleasant as possible. And we have people that may be at AA meetings at night. We have people that may have addictions. But the trends right now are more towards seniors and families living with us. And everyone, the focus is to all get along. We have areas of books, puzzle makings going on tables, card games. We have a children's corner where they're playing. I have a friend that donated her granddaughter's whole Barbie dream car and set and all that.
Hi, Ken. Hi, Barbie. Where's G.I. Joe?
No.
That's a stretch.
And actually, I sent that home when Zayla, who was in our TV show,
Yep.
I sent it with her to her new home when they got housed over Labor Day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, very
They got
nice.
their apartment. So, I mean, that's the joy. And we do our best if we can. If we don't have any storage for donations. So if people are listening and they had a storage area, we like to collect furniture that's donated. And then we like to set up apartments for people if we can. But everything is timing. So we have to say no to people if we don't have someone moving into an apartment and move it right in.
Right.
But anyway, so that's life in the shelter. And you like cocoa. So
I love
at
cocoa.
Christmas, we do a
I love
cocoa
cocoa.
and cookie party, as you know.
Mhm.
And I put it out on Facebook. Friends, please bake me fresh, yummy, homemade cookies. Nothing store-bought during Christmas week.
Yeah.
And we get dozens and dozens, and every...
I mean, that's the best.
I know.
There's something
I
about
know. And they're
homemade
beautiful.
cookies.
I had a friend that made us a gingerbread house that
Really?
decorated our table, my friend Kathy.
Wow.
And Dan Santorso, who works with me. Every day we make out new platters of cookies and deliver them to our 2-family house where we keep 2 families and everyone in the shelter also. So they had surprise and wonderful. So that's all good. And then at the food pantry, which Margaret oversees, Margaret Franzi, we've had growth in less than a year by this report card, 952 new people.
Wow.
Just in less than a year. So right now we're serving about 2,700 people at the food pantry.
Wow.
And donations since COVID just are way down. They don't have big food drives anymore. So I'm writing grants and we purchase food. And then we have stocked the shelves, of course.
Right.
And some grocery stores help. And every week we get through Food Rescue a delivery from the Bantam Market, which is great.
Yeah.
Great.
They're wonderful
they
and
got a
very
great product.
generous.
Shout out to the Bantam Market.
Yeah. And Food Rescue is wonderful.
Yep.
But it's a challenge the food just flies off the shelves.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we look at price of eggs, a dozen's going up to about $12. And if that alone is an indicator of what, of the challenges that people are facing just to try and buy the basics, bread, eggs, milk, the prices of those items are skyrocketing. And the one thing that's not going up is anyone's income or salary.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's the challenge that we face. And
that's why the food lines are growing.
And that's why the food lines are growing.
Well, Deirdre, we're trying to set up through CT Views a communications portal where we can talk on a regular basis with our stakeholders, just so we can create data-driven content that our residents can use to make better decisions for their families, for their businesses, and for the community. So although we didn't have an opportunity to get into everything tonight, we would like to invite you back so that you can give us a progress report.
Yeah.
And
I'll be pitching coats soon for the big rally day to end hunger and homelessness.
Yeah. And then
it's a big event.
You can let our audience know the needs of Fish and how they can contribute and participate and make sure that one of this community's finest social network organizations can continue to make a difference in the community. So,
thank you.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
I do have one thing to say though. I'm still racking my brain over how this producer from CPTV just randomly walked up to you, and I have to go, and I'm going to lead with You know, people say that you wear your heart on your sleeves, and
I
fish,
do.
fish seems to be your heart, and you must have been not just wearing it on your sleeves, but all over your face for this
For
producer
sure.
to just be able to go up to you and
Because she looked like Doris Day. That's why.
that
She
too.
was walking down the street. Que sera, whatever will be, will be. So he was compelled. I gotta
he
check
was
her out,
he
man.
was compelled
What's her
to. I
deal?
mean, you wear it on your sleeves,
Yeah.
and that's always a great thing.
I am here at Fish. It was like God was knocking me on the head.
Mm.
This
Yeah.
is where you're supposed to
Yeah.
be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
know
yeah.
that I'm way over retirement age, and I'm just going to keep on
And I would
going as
have to
long
say
as I
that you
can.
don't look it, so
Well,
that's a
thank
great
you.
thing.
Absolutely
Thanks.
not.
Yeah.
So so you're giving us your word now that you'll come back.
Oh, you bet. I'd
Okay.
love to.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll
Love
look forward
to.
to that. We're going to hold you to your word, dear.
Thank you.
So it's always great to talk to you, and great to have you on the show. And if there's anything that we can do from CT Views to further the cause, please
Or
don't
if any
hesitate.
mission that you'd like to get the word out there about, we would love
Yeah.
to definitely.
Surely.
Absolutely.
Yes, that'd
Absolutely.
be great. Mhm.
Ladies and gentlemen, Deirdre DeCara, Executive Director for Fish, Friends and Service to Humanity. You guys stay tuned. We got some more good stuff coming up for you right here on CT Views.
It's exciting to jump a few steps ahead and think about moving in and making it your own. But before you get too far down the emotional path, there are some key things to keep in mind after you apply for your mortgage and before you close. Here's a list of things to remember when you apply for your home loan. Don't deposit large sums of cash. Lenders need to source your money, and cash isn't easily traceable. Before you deposit any cash into your accounts, discuss the proper way to document your transactions with your loan officer. Don't make any large purchases. It's not just home-related purchases that could disqualify you from your loan. Any large purchases can be red flags for lenders. People with new debt have higher debt-to-income ratios, meaning how much debt you have compared to your monthly income. Since higher ratios make for riskier loans, borrowers may no longer qualify for their mortgage. So resist the temptation to make any large purchases, even for furniture or appliances. Don't co-sign loans for anyone. When you co-sign for a loan, you're making yourself accountable for that loan's success and repayment. With that obligation comes higher debt-to-income ratios as well. Even if you promise you won't be the one making the payments, your lender will have to count them against you. Don't switch bank accounts. Lenders need to source and track your assets. That task is much easier when there's consistency among your accounts. Before you transfer any money, speak with your loan officer. Don't apply for new credit. It doesn't matter whether it's a new credit card or a new car. When your credit report is run by organizations in multiple financial channels, mortgage or credit cards or auto, it will have an impact on your credit score. Lower credit scores can determine your interest rates and possibly even your eligibility for approval. Don't close any accounts. Many buyers believe having less available credit makes them less risky and more likely to be approved. This isn't true. A major component of your score is your length and depth of credit history, as opposed to just your payment history, and your total usage of credit as a percentage of available credit. Closing accounts has a negative impact on both of those parts of your score. Do discuss changes with your lender. Be upfront about changes that take place or you're expecting to take place. Glitches in income, assets, or credit should be reviewed and executed in a way that ensures your home loan can still be approved. If your job or employment status has changed recently, share that with your lender as well. Ultimately, it's best to fully disclose and discuss your intentions with your loan officer before you do anything financial in nature. Bottom line is, you want your home purchase to go as smoothly as possible. So remember, before you make any large purchases, move your money around, or make major life changes, be sure to consult your lender, someone who's qualified to explain how your financial decisions may impact your home loan.
Are back, ladies and gentlemen, for the second half of CT Views. Thank you so much for joining in. We want to take this opportunity to show some appreciation for our sponsors for allowing us to bring you quality community programming each and every week right here at your local cable access channel 5. I want to give a big, huge shout out to our big city sponsors. Toth Insurance Agency, located at 1151 East Main Street, Torrington, Connecticut. Better protection, better value. He can be reached at 860-496-7771 or at tothins@optonline.net. Mel Brickman and Health Markets, located at 16 McDermott Ave, Suite number 1 in Torrington, Connecticut. Better call Mel. He can be reached at 860-307-1128 or at healthmarkets.com/local-health-ins.
Or on all the billboards that you see around
Or all
town.
the billboards, yeah. Mel be up there looking all, you better call me. I was like, Mel, man, come on, lighten up a little bit, bro.
He's a silver fox, I gotta say.
He's a silver fox for sure. You should see him in the summer though when he's riding with the coupe down.
Yeah.
Hair be blowing in the wind like Michael Jackson.
And he's got a full head of hair too.
He's got full,
a silver fox.
I was jealous.
Sorry,
man.
Mel. I'm sorry if you're blushing right now. You're a silver fox.
I'm like, bro, how'd you grow all that hair, man? Give me some of that vitamin E. I lost mine in one night, man. I was like, where did it go? I woke up in the morning. I was like hairless. I was horrified.
We digress. We're sorry.
Sorry about that. Also, we'd like to recognize the Northwest Connecticut Area Chamber of Commerce, located at 59 Field Street, Suite 120 in Torrington, Connecticut. The Chamber is the place to be. They can be reached at 860-482-6586. And last, but certainly not least, Dr. Michael Curry, located at 30 Peck Road, Suite 2105 in Torrington, Connecticut. Pediatric care for over 50 years. He can be reached at 860-482-8177 or at torringtonpediatrics.com. Once again, thank you to our sponsors for your support, and we hope that that support will continue for months and years to come.
Yes. And so continuing on with our show, I would like to introduce a very special lady, Dr. DeLois Lindsey, who was not only a neighbor that I grew up with in Torrington, but when I graduated from high school, I attended the University of Hartford because I wanted to become this ballerina. So I graduated from Torrington High and enrolled in University of Hartford because they have a wonderful BFA program.
Yes, they do.
And, knowing that you were there at the University of Hartford, it just made it easy for me.
It made it feel like home.
It made it feel like home.
Yes.
I felt comfortable.
Yes.
And just knowing that I had somewhere to go was great.
Yes.
So I want to introduce DeLois Lindsey, Dr. DeLois Lindsey, and I want to start with a short bio on you. So Dr. DeLois Lindsey is retired from the University of Hartford after 34 years, served as tech specialist, adjunct professor, computer programming, director of Office of Multicultural Programs and Community Service, assistant to academic dean, college educator, assistant dean of students, assistant VP for student development. I mean, the list goes on and on. You are also a filmmaker, a writer, a great seamstress, and a tutor.
Yeah.
And you also mentor in the community. So we'd like to welcome you into our program on our show.
Thank you so much for helping me back. Thank you.
Yes. And actually, this is the second time that you are on our show.
Yes.
We did have you once before speaking on your book, but we have you here today because we wanted to recognize just community, Blacks in the community who are making a difference. And you have made a difference in Hartford, at the University of Hartford, and you've made a difference here in Torrington. You're also with the Zion,
AME Zion.
AME Zion Church.
Workman AME Zion.
Workman AME Zion Church, where you do tutoring there as well and
Yes.
mentoring.
Yes.
So welcome.
Thank you.
And please talk to us about your 34 years at the University of Hartford.
Best 34 years of my life. Tiring, a lot of work, being responsible for other people's children. Really,
Yeah.
as a university administrator, and particularly as being one of the very, very, very few people of color at the administrative level that I was at.
Mhm.
Because young people, when they go away, they go to college and they think they're grown and they're adults, and the law says that they are
Right.
because of FERPA, but they're not. They're still children in a lot of
So,
ways.
yeah.
They still need
Their minds are
parental
still
guidance.
developing.
Yes, they need parental guidance. They need somebody to get on them when they step out of line, and they need someone to praise them when they're doing well. They also need someone to remind them that no one gets ahead alone,
Mm.
that people make sacrifices to move you along the continuum.
Sounds
and
like
that
my
you're-
toddler.
Yes. But it is also their responsibility to pay it forward and to give back and to their communities, and so that the good works can continue. Life is not stagnant at all. It's dynamic. And you have to do your part, and you have to contribute, and you have to give, so that good things will come to you in turn. And so it was a lot of work. I had like 17 multicultural organizations. I started with 3.
Wow.
But then, as like when you said, when you came, you felt at home, we made the Office of Multicultural program, particularly for the African American, Caribbean, and Hispanic students initially. But then as we rolled along and became more successful, we had the Asian Students Association, we had the African Students Association, the National Society of Black Engineers. We started a gospel choir. We started a step team. We started a hip hop dance team. We started an organization for young Black women, strong independent sisters. We had a Men of Color line. We had so many. We had the Indian Students ECTA, and they just kept, because it seemed when young people know they can get the help they need, they tell their friends.
Yeah.
And before you know it, we got to buy a bigger couch. And we need another.
And they had a lovely couch in her office.
Okay.
And
Okay.
we had lovely art on the walls.
Yes, it
and
was great.
It was very welcoming.
I wasn't, so the majority of my classes while I was at University of Hartford were at
The
Hartford
Hart
Ballet.
School. Yeah, at the Hart School, right?
No, I was
At
actually
the ballet.
because I was a ballet. I was a dancer, so
Okay.
90% of my classes were at Hartford Ballet. I had one class on the actual campus. Okay, one class on the actual campus, and that one day was a Tuesday evening.
Okay.
That was the day that I would go straight to your office, and just hang out on the couch.
Yeah.
I mean, and she had students galore, like just in and out, buzzing in and out her office. Everyone was so friendly. Everyone was so kind. It was just this warm, welcoming feeling.
And everybody was working too.
And everyone was working. And
Because
it
I
was
was
just,
really the only full-time administrator besides an office coordinator. But I put those kids in there and they made it work.
Yeah.
It was their home. You got to make your house work.
Yeah.
And they
Make your house a
stuff.
home.
They want things to do. People want to feel needed. And you want to get people involved, you got to put them to work. You can't say, oh, well, come and be a part of this, and then they just sit around and look at you work.
And
No,
play
you
games.
need to get to work.
Okay.
Really, you put them to work,
Okay.
and then they have some buy-in. They have some ownership.
Right.
And then when they go home for Thanksgiving or the holidays, and the parents want to know, what are you doing at school? They know you're taking classes because that's what they're paying for. I mean, what are you doing outside of classes to enrich your life?
Right.
What are you doing?
Become a better human being.
Absolutely. Because when you go for a job, in a job interview, and they interview you, they see your degree. They don't want you to just talk about, because they had classes, they already know what that's about. Talk to me about how you developed as a young individual,
Yes.
as a young adult. What did you do to give? What did you do on campus to make your community a better place? What did you do to educate your peers? What kind of job did you have? Did you help to pay for your school? Did you do community service? Were you involved in leadership opportunities? And that's what they did.
Yeah.
You can chill in here after class, but you got work study, you better go get a job. Or if you can't find one, I got one for you here. So you got to keep kids busy.
So
You keep them busy, you keep them out of trouble.
so you helped a lot of these.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love
Doctor,
it. Yes.
can we talk frankly for a moment?
Absolutely.
Because we're all hearing the pushback on multiculturalism.
Yes.
How do you navigate or how do you recommend that your colleagues navigate around this issue that is somewhat being bastardized
Mhm.
to clarify to the public as a whole how important multiculturalism is to our society?
First, you have to believe it yourself. You have to believe that we're relevant. You have to believe that what we do is important. You have to believe that you owe it to your ancestors and to your children and to your grandchildren to show how relevant we are. And because we can stand on our accomplishments, that's already done. But to show that you're relevant means you keep doing the work. You don't let people stop you because they may not like you or they may not look like what you look like. What's important is what you have in your heart and what you have to give. And what you have to give is what keeps our people moving forward. I mean, Dr. King gave his life because he had it to give. He had to leave something with us because he knew he wasn't going to be here forever. And he left us a legacy that we still have not reached, but we never stop trying. You have to keep working. You never give up.
Right.
And you throw in the towel and we're done. Okay, I think about, and I talked about this during when I was the African American mayor for
I
Juneteenth.
definitely wanted to touch on that. Let
Okay.
me first preface
Okay.
by saying Dr. DeLois Lindsey was chosen to be the mayor for the day on Juneteenth. Please tell us what year this was.
23.
2023, and it was just an amazing opportunity.
Yes.
The mayor of Torrington, by the way. Please, yes, continue and tell us about that.
So I think about, and I was really, really, really honored to have that title, even for one day, because it's history is real important. We're in high school, history,
Yeah.
I'm never going to use that. Or, it's like math. Oh, I'm never going to use it. Oh, you're going to use it or you ain't going to get a paycheck. And if you do get a paycheck, how you're getting fair wages, et cetera. So history is important to me now because I realized, which I didn't realize in high school, I realized in my 50s and 60s, how important history is to my family because my great-great-grandfather was a runaway slave. And my great-great-great-grandfather was born in the same year as Nat Turner, as John Brown. And so life is a circle, and all in the same area down there in slavery. And so you have this white man up here giving his life and his son's lives for people, my people included, in the South, enslaved. And what does he have to lose? Everything. He had everything to lose. And he gave it up for someone else, for someone he didn't know. And so knowing that, and that's what I mean about having something in your heart that you feel and is right. You don't give up. He even got his sons.
Yeah.
They gave up their lives. So that gave me an opportunity to address the things that I felt about my ancestors that I didn't know. You may not know yours going back that far, but you carry them with you, don't you?
Absolutely.
And you love them. You don't know them. You know they're watching over you. You know how important it is for us to stand on their legacy and to build on it. Not just to say, oh, well, my great-great-grandfather was a slave. And just leave that statement there. So what about it?
Right.
And so being the mayor allowed me to address that and to talk about the sacrifices made and to talk about the battles won, but the battles that still need to be, haven't even formed, but we're getting ready for those battles now.
Indeed we are.
And so we can never, ever, ever forget You can't forget the past. You live the past. You got to leave your children something. I remember when my daughter was in middle school, and she was in middle school in Torrington, and she came home one day, and she was up. When your kid's lips poked out, you know something wrong, right? What's the matter, baby? Okay. So I start brushing her hair, and she starts crying. Sweetheart, tell mom what's wrong. Well, it was Black History Month, and there was a substitute teacher who started to talk about Black history, but she didn't know anything about it. And my daughter was the only Black student in class, and she said to her, oh, well, she's talked about slavery. That's all she knew. That's all she wanted to know. She didn't prepare. And she looked at my daughter and she said, oh, honey, you look like you're going to cry. Okay, bells and whistles going off in my head. So I said, okay, we're going to take care of this. Don't you worry. So I called the school and I said, let me tell you something. Whoever your substitute is, I pay her salary. Okay? And everybody in that school, we pay for the lights, we pay for the lunch, we pay for everything. It's Black History Month. If you can't have someone competent, don't do it. Leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Don't call my daughter out and make her feel badly for a history and a heritage she's not responsible for. Do you understand? Because you know what? The real fault in this history doesn't lie with her. It lies with the other side.
Right.
You understand? So, but nobody wants to talk about that. But so don't. So by the time I got finished giving my parental, multicultural perspective, they asked me, did I want to come to the school?
And speak.
And yes, please. When you want me to be there. And this is what I
With
did.
bells and whistles on, I'm there.
Listen, I had encyclopedias. I had books on African American contributions. I had everything. And I just spread it all around the classroom. And I had this little bingo game. You might have seen Diversity Bingo. You get bingo for answering all these questions about different cultures. And the teacher and I are sitting there. And she said, oh my God, they're doing research. I said, girl, don't tell them.
They don't know. They think they're playing a game.
Right.
They think all they're doing is playing a
So
game.
we had prizes. And it was exciting.
That's the best type of learning, though.
Yes.
When you don't think you're
Engagement.
learning, right?
Yes.
When it's very engaging.
Yes.
And it seems like it's fun, and you don't think you're learning. You don't think you're exhausting your brain.
That's correct.
But believe it or not,
It was wonderful.
Yes.
It was
That's
wonderful.
the best type
And
of
everybody
learning.
got prizes, you know. So I hope I answered your question.
You did.
Because
You
I
did.
feel
You certainly
passionate
did.
about
You did.
history and multiculturalism and my kids and my job and what I did, and God is good.
Well, Dr. Lois, you have not slowed down one bit since you retired from the University of Hartford. I believe even throughout the summer, you hold a program through the AME Zion Church where kids can come. Please talk to us about that age group of kids and what is offered and what you guys do with the kids.
Our Culture is Beautiful, which is an organization that Reverend Nganza Mwando and his wife Effie started.
Sister Effie.
The city supports it, and we get donations, etc. And there's no summer camp in the city that's free
Right.
for low-income families. And we have a lot of money. Torrington's not a wealthy town, but people want their kids to be safe. They want their kids to be engaged. They want their kids to have fun. They don't want them just because they're hanging around in the neighborhood. They're going to get into some kind of
on the tube.
have fun as a kid. So what we do, we had Tuesday and Thursday for like 3 or 4 hours, and they have basketball. My husband does basketball. And they do badminton, and they do soccer if they like.
And music.
We do music, and they have all kinds of snacks, and we do dominoes, and we do, oh my God, knitting. We do head wraps. What else do? We do everything.
You do chicken
Everything.
salad wraps?
No, we ain't did that. No,
And
see,
no
there
fish
you
and
go.
chips.
There you go.
I think Jacque's hungry.
He always got his mind
I'm
on
always
food.
hungry.
I think Jacque is
I'm
He
always
very
always got
hungry.
his mind. But the thing is, if parents or volunteers have a skill
Hmm.
or an interest and they want to get drumming.
Yeah. Yep.
Reverend
The
Ndonza
drumming.
is a fabulous drummer.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Actually, he got my grandson so interested, he took drumming lessons for several months.
Really?
And when they had Kwanzaa
Uh-huh.
at the church, right after Christmas, and they had a program, my grandson, I was so proud of him, JoJo, he was the only, 7 years old, he was in there drumming with her. He was the only kid drumming
Drumming
with
away.
the adults.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was so proud of that kid. So yeah, that's what, you gotta
Lovely.
find things.
You gotta find
Again,
things.
you
You gotta
gotta
keep
think
them
young
occupied.
people need to in college
Yeah.
at 7,
And to
at
be
10, it's
exposed
12.
to different things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
I do get excited about
I
what I
mean,
do.
we can continue to talk to you for hours and hours. We definitely want to have you back on the show,
Okay.
and probably just before the summer program ramps up, and
talk
you want
about
to
it
talk
again.
about that some
Sounds
more, and get people more interested and let them know that they do have other alternatives to
Right.
summer camp for their kids.
Well, you
We
guys
love
should
that.
come and do a segment on communications.
We certainly
we
can.
could do that.
Because
We
we have
certainly can.
kids who want to play sports. Communication is so. I
Yeah.
remember back in the day when they put the athletes on, it was awful to hear them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, come and do something like that for the kids.
We certainly will.
Sounds good, and thank you for having me.
No
we
problem.
are at the bottom of our show. Thank you so much for coming
Absolutely.
on. We're honored to have you here,
Thank you.
and thank you for just being a mentor and my neighbor.
Yes. Okay.
Neighbor, that's my
Got
neighbor.
a song for everything.
He does.
Speaking of songs for everything, we want to sing the successes of our T-Town shout-outs. Thank you for doing what you do for the community.
Are you gonna sing it though?
I might reserve that for another time.
Okay.
But we want to give some recognition to Don's Getaway, located at 24 Winstead Road in Torrington. Christie's Restaurant, located at 545 Winstead Road in Torrington. Health Insurance Services, located at 438 Main Street in Torrington. Wall and Fruenhofer, located at 117 Main Street in Torrington. Soul Latina Cafe at 31 Hungerford Street in Torrington. Jimmy's Store, located at 1238 East Main Street in Torrington. 5 Points Arts Center, located at 855 University Drive in Torrington. And George's Music, located at 905 New Harrington Road in Torrington. And as always, giving some recognition to our sponsors. The big city shout outs going out to our big city sponsors this evening. Toth Insurance Agency, located at 1151 East Main Street in Torrington. Better protection, better value. They can be contacted at 860-496-7771. Mel Brickman and Health Markets, located at 16 McDermott Ave, Suite number 1 in Torrington, Connecticut. Better call Mel. Located at, they can be contacted at 860-307-1128. The Chamber of Commerce, Northwest Connecticut Area Chamber of Commerce, located at 59 Field Street, Suite 120. The Chamber is the place to be. They can be contacted at 860-482-6586. And last but certainly not least, Dr. Michael Curry at 30 Peck Road, Suite 2105 in Torrington, Connecticut. Pediatric care for over 50 years. He can be reached at 860-482-8177. I can't believe a show has come and gone just like that.
Come and gone.
Just like that.
But stay tuned next week. We have a special guest, Andre Rochester, who is a visual artist and curator right here in Connecticut.
Wonderful.
He curates art for Yukon Health Center,
Oh, really? Okay. That's wonderful.
where your son-in-law is.
Yes, he does.
Yes.
Yes, in
But yeah.
Farmington.
Yep.
Yes, he does work
Stay
there,
tuned. It's
yes.
going to be a great show next week.
Very good.
Thank
So-
you all for tuning in.
Don't hesitate to reach out. Check us out on our Facebook page. Like and subscribe on our YouTube page. Like and subscribe. And we'll be coming at you on Twitch here in the near future. In the meantime, have a great evening. Stay warm. And we'll see you back next week for more CT Views.
Night, everyone.
Serious. views. City views, city views, city views, city views, city views, city views, city views.